today. Today we're going to be talking about our K5, our 2005 yellow GSXR1000 back there. We've been doing a little bit of upgrades. I haven't really been filming anything, but I'll just kind of show you guys what we got going on. And I get a lot of questions about the braking setup on this particular bike. And I thought I've kind of answered them in some other videos, but maybe not. So let's talk about that a little bit. So this is a 2005 GSXR1000. They only made this model. Obviously the K5 and the K6 in 05 and 06, but 2005 was the only year they made yellow. I get a lot of questions about the brake setup on this. So those of you that know, these are Yamaha R1 Sumitomo monoblocks. I did have to run a spacer in there. So what have we done? We have put on floating wave rotors, front and rear. We've got brand new Michelin Power 6 tires. I did take those monoblocks completely apart. We did just put on the Brembo RC19 master cylinder and the Brembo adjustable lever. There's what the whole setup looks like from on the bike. And we did utilize the factory 2005 GSXR1000 fluid reservoir. So that's just the OEM unit there. And I did keep the factory hardware. All this stuff was supplied right here with the Brembo. And I just ran a clear hose in there. But yeah, it went and it bled really, oh man, those feel so good. Yeah, nice and firm lever. It feels really good. This does have the Sumitomo monoblock calipers off of a 2005 and 2006 Yamaha R1. Did have to run spacers on here to get those to fit and make good contact with the actual brake rotor. Have a full video on that install. These do have brand new, because I did swap out the rotors, went ahead and put brand new pads in it, even though the other pads only had probably 3,000 miles on them. Anytime you're swapping them out with rotors and pads, I like to do that as a set. But it does also have the core moto stainless brake lines all the way around. So I think that did come out looking really good. I did have to go in and wire in my own brake light switch. So let me show you guys that. I don't know if I can even reach. All right, boom. Oh man, this bike is slick. And moving on down the rear here, we did go ahead and do the same in the back. So we've got the matching rotor in the back with the brand new fully centered EBC pads as well, and the core moto stainless brake line. So this thing, I haven't ridden it yet because it's really cold outside, but I have a feeling it's gonna be the best brake setup yet. It's gonna stop really good. We did put on brand new Michelin Power 6s. It's a 190. First time running the Power 6s. We did have the Dunlop Q3 Pluses on there last year. Got about one season out of them, so I think these are gonna be pretty good. So while we're getting this thing all ready for riding season, we did a full oil service, brand new Suzuki filter in there, of course. Went ahead and ran Suzuki R9000, the fully synthetic oil in this. Lubed the chain, did all that fun stuff, but it's looking pretty good. One thing that did kind of suck was when I went to this Brembo RCS19 Master, I could not run my CRG lever, even though my old Master was a Brembo as well. It wasn't compatible. I did check. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with this lever. It feels excellent. So we'll just keep this one on. But just so you know, if you're running CRGs or ASVs or something, they might not be compatible with that master cylinder. So when I got that bike, it was all fully stock. So it had the factory Takiko front brake calipers, and it had a Nissan master cylinder, and that lever would come all the way back almost to the handlebars. No matter how much I bleed the master, bleed both calipers. I mean, I went through probably 2 bottles of brake fluid trying to get this thing to get a good feel on that front brake, and it didn't work. So after that, we swapped to a 2005, 2006 Yamaha R1 setup, and it was the complete setup. So we had the monoblocks calipers. We had it comes with a factory Brembo Master. I believe it's like a RCS 14 or 16 mil, so a little bit smaller piston diameter inside. I did have the Core Moto stainless brake lines and EBC pads with the factory rotors, and that made a tremendous difference. Still left a little bit to be desired though for me. That's why we went ahead and went this setup. And also when I had those monoblocks apart, let me show you. And maybe I'll insert a picture. Sometimes you just get working and you don't want to film everything. But when I had these monoblocks apart, they have 2 pistons here and 2 pistons on the other side. This piston is larger than this piston, as you can kind of see. This is a bigger circle than this one. So I blew all 4 of those pistons out, changed out all of the O-rings and stuff inside of there and seals, got them all cleaned up, Scotch Brighted them, made them nice and slick, and put them all back together. So those things should slide in and out of their bores really, really good. They weren't that bad, but I just wanted them as clean as they possibly could be. And when I bled the system, I used a vacuum bleeder setup. So I bled from the master. You know, of course, we went through the reservoir multiple times to make sure all the fluid was fresh, but each caliper. And this does have an individual line from the master down to each caliper. The factory setup had one line down to one caliper, and then it teed off to the other caliper on the opposite side. So all in all, the brake setup is way different than it was from stock, but I think it's going to give me a super, super result. I think it also looks pretty good too. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Good night.
Good night. What time is it?
8:27.
8:27. What time's bedtime?
8.
8. So you're up 27 minutes late. What'd you let him stay up late for? What'd you let him stay up late for? Huh? What'd you let him stay up late for? All right, bro. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Good night. And just keep in mind, if you're going from a stock GSXR1000 Nissan master cylinder and you already have levers on it and you go to the Yamaha R1 setup with the Brembo Master, the levers aren't going to be compatible. So you're going to have to get a different lever if you want all your shit to still match and all of that stuff. So, and also your brake lines will be different from OEM to the Yamaha R1 setup, because like I said, the GSXR1000, you had one line coming from the master down to the caliper on the right side of the bike. That's a longer line, and then you had a short line that went from that caliper over to the left side of the bike. So the Yamaha R1 lines are 2 long individual lines, so you need to make sure that you do your research and you have all that stuff figured out if you are wanting to do a setup like this. But it is completely different braking feel from the factory machine. Also, update on the DRZ. Let's give you a little garage update. Did get the Michelin Power 6 tires on that bad boy. Here's kind of a sneak peek of the color scheme. I don't have all the plastics on, but everything is that hollow chrome, and even the black, it's kind of hard to see, but it's all holographic color as well. So it kind of looks purple and black and blue and everything else. This bike, I've got it really, really, really clean, as you guys saw in some of the other videos. Everything is spotless inside of there. Dewey's got the carburetor. He just did the FCR test video, testing his FCR out. He's gonna swap the Electron in. We're gonna check it out. I did also toss on some purple bars. These are Renthal fat bars with a little bit of a higher rise. This is the RC high, not to be confused with the CR high. This is the Ricky Carmichael bend. I'm a pretty tall dude, so I think this is gonna be a nice setup for me. And I think that purple is gonna look killer with the blue and everything else in there. So all we need is the engine, but Dewey has it 100% completed. He's just gonna go through his testing and tuning, getting that bad boy right. So whenever we put it in the bike, she is ready to go. So if we do get a few days where we get a little bit warmer weather, here in Kentucky, it's been pretty cold and still ice and snow and salt and shit all over the road. We do got a bike to ride, so we're not just waiting on the DRZ. I got something else I can ride here. with this K5, and we've got that bad boy ready for springtime. I know it's a little early, it's not even February yet, but I get excited and I want to get them ready to go. I suggest you do the same. Get your machines ready to rock and roll so that when springtime comes around, you're ready to rip. And you can't tell me that ain't a sexy bike. All right, let's check it out. All right, quick little update on that K5 GSXR1000 brake upgrade. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me at scottlink_L5P on Instagram. Yeah, and hopefully that answers some questions for you. So as always, I appreciate everybody for watching. Until next time, thank you. Take care.